Hey, what's going on? This is James. Just wanted to go over a couple articles that have caught my eye over the last 2 days. But first, wanted to thank all the new subscribers. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe and make sure you click the bell so you get all the notifications. And I really appreciate you guys. So let's get into this article because it kind of made my blood boil a little bit as it did this mother here. It says mother enraged by face mask ad claiming her family died of CV-19. It was upsetting and violating. I don't doubt it. It says the company, FilterMax, used an image of Sarah, her husband, and their 3 children in a commercial falsely claiming they all died, except for the youngest son, after contracting CV-19. And get this, this is the kicker, at a church service. Quote unquote, the family didn't wear any face masks, which led them to be easily infected in that huge crowd, those evil churchgoers. Oh, I added that part. The commercial stated, who would have the audacity to clearly not know a family and type that they had died. Um, and Chick, I guess that's her name, said it's on the forefront of everybody's mind in the news and everything, and how quickly it is taking lives. It could so clearly be true to people. A teenage boy shown in the advertisement is said to be the only survivor of the family, but Sarah has no clue who he is. I am curious about the boy in the video too. Where is he in this? Does he know that he's out there? Um so yeah, this article is an epitome of what's going on. Not only are they lying, hyping up this disease, this cold, but now they're using families that that had no idea that it was even going on. And the story, right? Churchgoers, those selfish churchgoers, man, in that crowd, man, I can't believe they would do that. And yeah, so this is a theme that I think we're going to continue to see going on more and more. And I just wanted you guys to see that because, like I said, for me, um, I just couldn't believe it. And I'm seeing so much of it that I don't know why I couldn't believe it, but it's just crazy. Elon Musk, what I find most surprising is that CNN still exists. Tesla CEO calls out fake news that he didn't send ventilators to hospitals. Says Elon Musk called out CNN for erroneously reporting that more than 1,000 ventilators sent by Tesla to California hospitals hadn't been received, while expressing his surprise that the news network still exists. So apparently he did send them, and this article is going over that he did and that they lied. New York City adds nearly 4,000 people. This is great, right? Who never tested positive to the CV death tolls. United Nations donates 250,000 face masks to New York City or help fight the CV disease, CV-19 in New York. It says New York City added nearly 4,000 people who never tested positive for the CV to its death toll Tuesday, bringing CV related deaths in the city to around 10,000 people. The city decided to add 3,700, which is keeps popping up all over 37 people to its death tolls, who they presume to have died from the virus, according to a report from the New York Times. And these articles, you can put the titles of them in there. I haven't been posting the links. I will do that. I just don't have time to do that right now. You can look up this exact article just by typing this in to Google, and you'll find it. But the thing is this is like old school reporting, right? With actual links to sources. It says the addition increased the death toll in the U.S. by 17%. So our death toll for the United States went up by almost 20% by this one 3,700 people, right? That they presumed to have died, according to the Times report, and included people who were suffering from symptoms of the virus, such as intense coughing and a fever. Times stated a limited number of tests have been available, and until now, only deaths where a person had tested positive were counted among those killed by the virus in New York. It baffles me, right? So now actually, I said this in the other day in one of my videos that they are presuming I think one of the articles even stated that if somebody got hit by a bus, um, and they tested positive, they died from the virus. So yeah, something's not right here. This one is not good for the UK. UK is getting out of control, man. These people, these police are out of control. UK police accused journalist of killing people for filming them in a park while spitting in his face. The video clip shows police officers in London accusing a journalist of killing people for filming them in a park. It says the incident began when journalist Michael Segalov witnessed an encounter between a woman and police during which the officers appeared to be harassing her. He began recording the confrontation on his phone, but was soon surrounded by several officers, one of which told him, "You're killing people, go home," while clearly standing closer than social distancing rules mandate. And see, that's the thing you see across the board. All these people telling people to wear masks, telling people to social distance, will be the first one in your face telling you these things and getting in that 6 feet, right? That they say is what you need to be safe. So clearly they're not worried about it. They're not wearing masks, but you need to wear a mask, slave. And this is starting to get out of control in the UK. And it says one of the officers, Sergeant Brown, repeatedly provides his name and number to stress that he is proud of what he is doing. It subsequently emerged that the officers were hassling the woman because they thought she was clearly not exercising and told her to leave the park. Yeah, because that's what they told this guy here too. You know, hey, what are you doing? You're not moving. You're not exercising. So, you have to be moving. You can't stand in the park and look around and enjoy yourself separated from people. And this is showing how ridiculous and how things are getting out of control. And I'm not going to play the video just because I'm trying to make this a little bit shorter. But if you want to, again, type in this article name um, or go to InfoWars and find it, because I don't know that some of these things won't come up in Google, which is weird. And I guess that's not weird, right? Inmate, yeah, this is my favorite one. Inmate freed from prison due to coronavirus back in jail on murder charge. Incident occurred mere 24 hours after Democrat open prison policy went into effect. So he got out, and within 24 hours, he was back in after after murder charge, I guess, right? Florida inmate released from prison last month in response to the coronavirus outbreak was arrested Monday on a murder charge. So I guess he's been out for a month. So yeah, it took about a month. And like I said the last time, there's people out that they're releasing that were murderers. And this is proving that this person, there's a reason why people who kill people get put in prison for a long time and aren't released, because they're going to do it again. And not always, but I'll tell you what, man, I don't want murderers on the street, not so that we can put people not wearing masks in their place. California governor, okay, it's $125 million cash stimulus for illegals. Taxpayers to foot $75 million to the non-citizens. And California Governor Gavin Newsom on Wednesday announced a plan approving a $125 million coronavirus relief package for people living in the United States illegally. And I thought we saw enough of this nonsense before, but that was one of the best things about what President Trump did when he gave the stimulus checks. It was to people that were taxpayers, people that filed taxes in the last 2 years, people that actually are in the system working, doing their part. And here you go. California virtue signaling again and giving away taxpayer money to people that are breaking the laws from the moment they get here. Illegals, because they came here illegally. Logic. So yeah. Oh, this is very disturbing. Dubai airline passengers undergo CV-19 blood tests before boarding. So in Dubai, you got to board a plane. You've got to get a blood test. See, and this is the disturbing part right here. CNN, perhaps a sign of what the future holds for air travelers. They're setting a precedent. They're you know, like the invasiveness of everything we went through before wasn't enough. What they're doing is they're setting a precedent. So we're going to have some kind of a passport, like a medical passport. Says you've got the vaccine, you're safe to go out of your house, you're safe to fly. Because they're not going to be, this thing. I heard somebody on a podcast last night, Marfugal News, and they were talking about, getting this done in the airport. That's not what's going to happen. That's what they're doing here. But this is setting the precedent so that we can get our blood tests beforehand, so we can have our little pass that says, hey, you can get out of your house, you can shop, you can buy or sell, you can fly a plane. And right now, and it could be on our smartphone. Right now, it'll be a passport, it'll be a smartphone app, whatever. But as Christians, we know the future holds the mark of the beast, which I'm telling you right now, don't take it. You ever they want to put a tattoo or a chip in your right hand or your forehead, let you buy or sell, let you go travel, because you can see writing on the wall, that's what that is. Don't take it. Okay, so this was an interview between Tucker Carlson and the New Jersey governor, and it's actually a pretty good interview. I would recommend watching it. It's like 15 minutes long. It's like it says, okay. Democratic New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy told Fox News host Tucker Carlson that he wasn't thinking of the Bill of Rights when he imposed social distancing orders in his state that include a ban on religious gatherings. During a wide-ranging interview on Wednesday night edition of Tucker Carlson Tonight, Carlson asked Murphy about New Jersey's synagogue congregants who were arrested and charged for being in a synagogue together. And what's funny is the governor keeps going back to, well, we went and we talked to all the leaders of the churches and they were okay with it. But what he doesn't understand is the First Amendment states that what they did is illegal and people need to start filing lawsuits against it. Now, the Bill of Rights, as you well know, protects Americans' rights, enshrines their right to practice their religion as they see fit and to congregate together to assemble peacefully, Carlson said. By what authority did you nullify the Bill of Rights in issuing the order? How do you have the power to do that? Oh, Tucker Carlson, man, so good. His interviews and the way he puts people in the spot is amazing. Says, that's above my pay grade, Tucker, Murphy responded. I wasn't thinking of the Bill of Rights when we did this. First of all, we looked at the data and the science. And then Carlson says, I can tell you didn't think of the Bill of Rights. And yeah, he didn't. And a lot of these governors haven't. And we need to hold their feet to the fire. And it looks like that's starting to happen. Pennsylvania Senate votes to override Dem governor's stay-at-home order. The Pennsylvania Senate has passed a measure which would partially reopen the state by lifting the lockdown on most of the state's businesses imposed by Governor Tom Wolf, according to The Hill. So we're starting to see senators stand up, which is good. And it's the pressure we're putting on them as the people. And they're starting to see the writing on the wall that we're not going to put up with this any longer. And I don't, like I said before, the First Amendment doesn't say we have the right to assemble peacefully unless there's a pandemic. It's not written in there. And I don't think the founding fathers were thinking that people getting sick would be a good reason to nullify the whole thing and go against it. Lockdown backlash begins. Angry crowd surrounds Capitol, demands Michigan governor reopen economy. And we're seeing this burst across the United States. It just started a few days ago, and with gridlocks and people out protesting. And I wouldn't be surprised if you start to see stories and fear mongering saying, hey, look at all these people, all these crowds. All of a sudden, people are sick now. You got to believe us. We're mainstream. We haven't been lying to you for the last 3 years. Oh, yeah, we have actually. Californians latest to protest stay-at-home orders, call to open Cali. And people are fed up. And we're watching our country get flushed down the toilet. And we're seeing politics being played. And we're seeing just a lot of nonsense. Things not adding up. And hospitals not being full. and all the things that they're telling us not being true. I just saw another article and I didn't put it here, but it was about multiple people now that aren't allowed to wear masks. And I thought, okay, well, one lying nurse wasn't enough. So now they got 10 together to lie about it. And I'm pretty sure no hospital is directing, especially with as litigious as this country is. Oh, you can't wear a mask with the CV-19 person. That's BS. And that's my nice way of saying it. Weekend of rallies kick off to reopen America as patriots defy tyranny. Patriots nationwide are assembling for the right to return to work and reopen the economy. And like I said at the beginning, this is, it's all about people waking up, smelling BS, realizing that they are taking this way too far. And as I said before, these are the same people fear mongering and saying all the things they're saying that did the Russia, the Mueller probe, and all of that garbage for 3 years. We've been listening to this, and now these are the people that we suddenly need to listen to, as we keep catching them lying again. No, I'm not listening to them anymore, and I don't think you should listen to them anymore. And I think you should stand up like I'm standing up, make videos, get out there, get to these protests, do everything you can do, because now is the time. It gets any further than where things are, and it'll get to a point where we won't be able to get out and in mass and protest, which is our God-given right through the Constitution. So anyway, that's pretty much it. I think that's all the articles I had. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe bell or subscribe button and click the bell for all the notifications. And I appreciate every one of you that's watching these videos, and they will get better and better with time. Most of what I've been doing for the last year, I guess I was going to talk about this. I'll just a little bit, I started a virtual reality podcast with a friend of mine, and I've been doing that for a year, and it's been pretty successful. We're doing well. And as I'm talking about video games and all the cool VR games coming out, I'm seeing all this going on in the world. And that started spilling into my podcast. I started bringing up stuff of politics into a virtual reality podcast, which has no place for it. And I started feeling like, what am I doing? Why am I talking about virtual reality when all of this is going on in the world, and I've got the means to make videos? And so that's why I started this channel. That's why I started coming back to doing videos about this and about God. And I feel like God called me back in a way that I couldn't deny was him. And I'll talk about that in future video if I feel led to. But yeah, so I appreciate y'all, and I will see you next time.